Where we lock and load, Allen Powers. It's the Allen Powers Show. Yeah. Where we lock and load. Come on. It's the Allen Powers Show. Yeah. Where we lock and load. Come on. It's the Allen Powers Show. Yeah. Where we lock and load. It's the Allen Powers Show. Yeah. Where we lock and load. Come on.
Well. What do we have in the building today? Sorry, can you turn that down a little bit, brother? There you go. Got a special show going on today. There's been a lot of talk on Facebook, and so we made some stuff happen, man. So before we tell everybody what's going on, I'm gonna introduce everybody first. Welcome back, brother.
Hey, man. Thank you. I'm glad to be back. You know, watch you hold it down while in my absence. You know, but I'm back. I'm ready to get down to business. There's been a lot of talk, man. So, yeah, let's get to it. Go ahead.
That is the sportsologist. Just in case you didn't recognize his voice, he's been MIA for the past couple weeks, you know, but he's finally back. And he's back, and he's called somebody out. He made a post. He tagged about 5 people. And he said they scared to respond. I said, all right, the Allen Powers Show is going to make this happen. The first person that he tagged that responds is going to be a special invite on the show. And lo and behold, the first person that responded, and you got to give him some credit, too. You got to give him some credit.
This is my guy, man. You know what I'm saying? James, you know what I'm saying? Welcome to the show. You know, we talk sports all the time, but it's strictly business today. So, you know, we'll do all the fine flattering stuff later, man. It's time to get down to business.
Mr. James Oliver is the first one that responded, said any place, any time. We said, let's book it, let's do it. And so he's in the building. How you feeling, man?
Hey, I'm feeling real good. I appreciate the invitation out. You know, I don't back down from no challenges.
So
no challenges, no conversations.
When
I tell you I'm coming. I'm here.
When you got tagged by the sportsologist and he said that y'all was scared, like how was you feeling? Like, did you think it was gonna happen like this, like so soon? Are you ready?
I'm always ready.
Wow.
And when I got the tag, I answered back immediately.
He did.
What time, what place, and I'll be there.
And
I didn't have to think about it.
So I got a question.
Yeah, I got an answer.
What kind of whoa.
Wait, what was that last one? I missed it.
I said I got a question. He said I got an answer for you.
Hey, that brother quick on his feet.
So are we having is this going to be a challenge, Stump the Sportsologist show, or just going to be a conversation about certain topics that it's kind of been looming for a while?
Because it was so short notice, we can't do Stump the Sportsologist today. It was short notice, so we didn't have time to get the questions together and get everything.
You saving them right now.
So I mean, hey, we can we'll make it happen eventually.
Okay.
But for the time being, we just have him in the building. He can debate you. You can go back and forth, and we just gonna have some fun and go with it.
I'm with that.
So,
I'm with that.
Once again, James Oliver in the building. The first got to respond to the sportsologist about getting tagged on Facebook, and there's more to come.
Yeah.
More to come.
We'll see.
The way we like to do it around here is, well, first of all, we say let's lock and load. That means let's get ready to get to it. But we always ask the guests this question, and I know where this is going already. I'm kind of excited about it, but it's going to lead right into the topic at hand that brought all of this together. So first of all, is LBJ the GOAT in your opinion?
No.
And then do you want?
That's not the question you usually ask the guests.
Well, I felt like is you a fan of LBJ? I felt like that was too, you know.
Okay.
But do you like that one better?
That's fine. I got my own
I mean,
question.
what question would you ask me?
Okay, the question I would ask is, before we got to that, was because we're talking about basketball right now, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
What would be your Mount Rushmore as far as all-time greats? Let's start there.
My Mount Rushmore. Of course, we got to go with Mike.
Okay.
Mike
no
is
particular order, but if you want to put them in order, that's
no
fine.
particular
Just
particular
your top
order.
Your top 4 players.
Mike, Wilt,
Okay.
I will put LeBron up there.
Okay.
I'll put LeBron up there. I gotta go with Shaq.
That's 4. That's it. So
Okay, who's your Mount Rushmore?
well, I wasn't prepped for that, so I didn't I didn't make my Mount Rushmore.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to go off the top of my head, I mean,
I
see you got papers over here. You see what I'm saying? You got papers.
Yeah,
So apparently,
He did a little bit of research because he knew I was coming.
He can't.
But
Look,
I admire
look,
that though.
I at least send text messages, let you know what's going on. Did you give me a text message about this? No.
I was just, basketball is one of our favorite topics. So,
Yeah.
just asking your top 4 players of all times. I didn't, it wasn't too much in detail,
Top 4 of all time.
Just in your opinion.
I'm gonna go with Jordan.
Okay.
And this is based on what I've seen. See, I'm not going to say Wilt because I really didn't see Wilt.
Right.
I'm going to go the 4 that I've seen.
That's fair.
So, I'm going to go with Jordan, Kobe. Woo. Kobe, Jordan. I'm going to go with Tim Duncan. I feel like he's overlooked. And then I will go with I throw in LBJ just for giggles.
Okay.
Just for giggles.
Okay.
So, you asked me, I ain't go home, I ain't have
And I respect that answer because you said what you've seen.
right.
So when we talk about greatest of all times, you're talking about a few different eras.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like we throw that around kind of like we throw that around too much, and I think that it's a lot of basketball that was played before some of these players that we aren't recognizing.
Right.
And I brought some information to bring them to the forefront.
Okay. Is this going to pertain to the article or just in the
Absolutely.
Okay, so look, this is what we're going to do. First, let's give out these numbers. If people want to call in and chime in, we're going to give out these numbers. You want to give them out, bro?
I'll give them out. Okay, the numbers to call into the show, suburbs 708-445-9922. Indiana residents 219-933-9922. And Chicago 773-288-9922.
Those are the numbers if you want to call in, chime in on this debate. Let's talk about what brought all of this together.
Okay.
You made a post on Facebook.
I didn't make a post. I just shared.
You shared the post.
I shared an article.
You shared an article.
Okay. You shared the article.
Right.
You shared the article.
Go ahead. Yep.
All right. The article was from 2 years ago, 2017.
Yeah. I think so. I think you're right.
And Robert Parrish was the person at the head of the article.
Right.
Now, because you shared it, I'm going to let you tell the people what was said,
In summary. Okay.
all of that good stuff. Go ahead.
Okay, so Robert Parrish, who was a center for the Boston Celtics back in the 80s. Prior to that, he played the Seattle Supersonics. And he shared an article when there was some type of interview he had when they asked about Michael Jordan. And he said, just in the summary, was that he felt like Michael Jordan was the greatest of his era, but definitely not the greatest of all times. And I agree with that 10 million %. Unfortunately, his era was split when he got drafted in '84, but I want to say he was the greatest of all time from like 1989, 1990 to 1998. And unfortunately, but okay, so that's what he was saying.
And why did he say he wasn't the GOAT?
Okay, so a couple of things he said was that when him, McHale, and Larry Bird was all together, and I think he used the word in their he didn't use the prime, but when they were all playing together at in their prime, I want to say that he never beat them in the playoffs, which is true. He said that, and then Michael Jordan finally broke through once Drew Mars and Isaiah Thomas got old. After they went back to back, and then the third year, the Bulls finally broke through in 1990 and beat the beat the Pistons and went on to win an NBA championship.
So he was saying that Jordan didn't beat teams in their prime, he beat them when they got old.
He beat right, and then so he said no, he never beat those teams in their primes.
Right,
and then the teams that he finally did beat,
they was old.
The team that he finally beat in the '90s to win his 6 rings.
Well, I was saying when he first beat Detroit, he was saying they was.
He said that the article said that Isaiah Thomas and Joe Dumars was at that point, old, past their prime.
Gotcha. And then let me get James in real quick.
If the article said that Mike wasn't the GOAT, who did he say was?
Okay, well
that's a great question.
So what he said was that he mentioned Wilt, Russell, and Kareem. And if you read the article, he said and it wasn't a biased article, he said because he was a Boston Celtic, he mentioned 2 Lakers in that article, but also they were saying he was somewhat biased to the big man. You know what I'm saying?
So
it's somewhat biased. But he said it was biased, but then it wasn't too biased because him being a Boston Celtic, he mentioned 2 Lakers as being the go-to.
So Robert Parrish, a big man, he went with 2 other big men.
Three other big men
called them GOAT.
Well, what he said was So what he said was Michael Jordan was the greatest that he's seen of his era. But once his team was in their prime, he beat them, and what he did, they never beat them in the playoffs.
Let me ask you a question: how do you feel about the people that he selected as GOATs, so to speak?
I do have Kareem on my Mount Rushmore, so I don't have a problem with his list. I don't necessarily have Wilt Chamberlain, Bill Russell, but if you can't deny what Bill Russell was able to accomplish, so his list I think is warranted based on a lot of the information that he if you look at their stats, so I don't have a problem with his list, but I definitely agree that MJ wasn't the greatest of all time.
But you don't have no problem with him having no forwards, no guards in that conversation.
Well, see, that's why talking about the greatest of all time, it could be somewhat. It's an unfair conversation because of different eras. We talk about the expansion of the NBA in the '90s. We talk about how the rules have changed. Mm-hmm. So, the athlete, the NBA athlete has changed from being a dominant big man to a point guard. So, you know what I'm saying? Well, that changed right when Michael Jordan started winning championships too. But we'll talk about that too. Mm-hmm. So the game changed from the 80s to the beginning of the 90s. Certain rules have changed for it to be a more offensive type of game.
Right.
Conveniently, that's when Michael Jordan started winning. But
really?
Really?
Did he just use the word conveniently?
Conveniently.
Okay. Well, while we on there,
go ahead. Come on with it. Come on with it.
So
come on with it.
One of the things I wanted to touch on, and I was going to kind of do this in order, was they call it the hand checking rule.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And that's where you were no longer allowed to kind of, defensive players were no longer allowed to put their hands on it to kind of force you to move certain ways.
Right.
Yeah,
and
which the era that Mike played in that rule, correct?
Oh, he didn't.
He didn't play in the hand checking rule.
What? You couldn't check hands. You couldn't. It started in 1990 when he started winning. What year did the hand checking rule eliminated hand checking NBA from 1990 onward? The NBA made a steady effort to improve offensive effectiveness and reduce physical contact. Among the changes implemented, it happened in 1990. What year did Michael Jordan start winning championships?
Time out. Okay.
But are you saying that it was more? The NBA was more physical. It's more physical now than it was back then.
I said in the 80s.
Okay. So you saying that it ended? You said it ended right when Jordan started winning.
Yes.
But would you agree that when you got fouled going to the paint, you wasn't getting tossed if somebody gave you an elbow straight to the head?
No. It's a softer league now. Yeah.
And with that being the case, would it been a softer league? Who does that conveniently help right now?
Right. But what I'm saying is, we act like Chicago Bulls fans act like
what? You didn't answer.
Who does it conveniently? Who does it conveniently?
Today's NBA player.
Who's the supposed to? Who is your GOAT?
Magic Johnson.
Oh, I thought it was somebody else.
Yeah, Magic Johnson.
Okay,
I have all the information right here to back that up.
Okay, well, we never had this conversation about you having Magic as the GOAT. But you definitely mentioned LeBron.
I should tell you my Mount Rushmore. I'll tell you my Mount Rushmore.
Give me your Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, see,
give me your Mount Rushmore. Because you defend LeBron James like he's the GOAT.
He's on my Mount Rushmore.
Okay,
LeBron James is one of my top 4 players.
You learn something new every day. And I guess we just found out.
Never heard magic come out your
ring.
mouth.
Never.
As a GOAT.
Well,
Never.
if you
Never.
ask people around the plant, I had a conversation about this the other day.
We didn't work together for how long, and we ain't never heard
The
that.
conversation only goes to LeBron and Michael Jordan. That's why that conversation comes up.
But I
Magic
believe-
Johnson is, in my opinion, the greatest basketball player that ever laced up a pair of shoes. And it goes before the NBA. And this is where we miss, and this is where I feel like Michael Jordan GOAT fans miss it. This is why I miss it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and if you want me to get into that.
I believe I heard it come out your mouth before that you thought LeBron James was the GOAT.
But his story still to be written. I mean, how can you know what I'm saying? But I said this the other day. I said, what happens when he retires? Say he retires in 3 more years.
Yeah.
Or 4 more years. He averages 17. He becomes the all-time leading scorer in the NBA. Possibly wins 2 or 3 more championships. He becomes top 10 or 15 in assists and steals, and he's all-time leading scorer.
Then we'll revisit the conversation.
Where would you put him then?
If you said 2 or 3 more championships?
Yeah, if he gets
got
to 5,
3 now.
Yeah, he got 3. If he gets 5 championships, he becomes the all-time leading scorer in the NBA. He becomes top 15 in assists and rebounds.
Let's see how he wins these championships.
We'll revisit that conversation.
Let's see.
I'm just saying, where would you put him?
I mean,
How did he win these championships? Was he the focal point of winning these championships, or was he just?
was he the best player?
Was he the best player?
Was he the best player on the team winning these championships?
Or was he just
Will it be like Anthony Davis taking over?
like just
Okay, so
dominated?
if he went
And
with the roster assembled this year in the LA Lakers, if they win the championship this year, do you
that'd
give
be
him the
big.
credit?
That'd be big. And he's
And
Finals MVP or
I told people this: if he win the championship this year, it'll be more impressive to me than any other championship. If he wins this year, it'll be
probably
more
so.
impressive.
I'll probably
More
agree with
impressive
that
this
too.
year than the
Then the
Cleveland
Golden
Cavaliers.
then the
Yes.
Golden because
because
the
of
way
the
it happened, the
supporting cast.
circumstances.
How did it? What happened?
Draymond got suspended.
Game six,
and it
which cost them-
turned
which cost
the
them that
whole.
game.
Okay, they cost them the road game.
And then
They cost them
then
the road game, so it's tied up 3-3.
Cleveland's talent.
Then-
That Cleveland team was more talented than this Lakers team. I like that Cleveland team better. I like.
Well, we
Kyrie.
have to see.
I
We have
like
to
Kyrie
see.
at
We have
that
to see.
time.
We have to
I like-
see.
I like Kevin Love the way they fitted in at that time for that team.
But we haven't seen this new Lakers teams yet. We haven't seen it. We haven't seen that yet. So we have to.
Okay, so you put an asterisk next to that Cleveland Cavaliers?
I ain't mind putting an asterisk. I'm just saying there was some circumstances that happened
Everything,
where.
circumstances happen all the time. If Kevin,
I agree.
so do you put an asterisk next to the Toronto Raptors championship this year?
A lot of people do.
People do.
A lot of people do.
Okay, so
I'm not saying an asterisk. I'm just
That's the
saying
question.
circumstances happen.
I
Let me ask
wouldn't
you
do it
this.
personally, but
Let me
a lot
ask you
of people
this.
do.
Let me ask you this. Do you put an asterisk next to the first Golden State Warriors championship?
I don't like
A lot of people do.
First
A
of all,
lot of people
first of
do.
all,
They
I don't-
said
I don't
Kyrie
like
and Kevin
putting
was
athletes
injured.
You don't because
behind nobody really.
in professional sports things happen.
Yeah, but
So
you
it's
know,
not-
we always want to see teams at their full strength.
Right, but how often at the end of the season do you see that?
I mean,
How
if
often
they
do you
on the
see
court, if they on the court and they looking like
it's
they
sports- in sports, it's all about the next man up.
Exactly. Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl with the backup quarterback.
yeah.
So what I'm saying is you give credit for the backup, but then if somebody else is missing from another team, it's an asterisk.
But what I'm
it
saying-
doesn't go that way.
But what I'm saying is, you always got in your mind, okay, what would have happened if they was healthy? Like you always think about that. You can't tell me you don't
Like
think
your
about
boy,
that.
But they
like your
pros.
boy, like
Yeah, I
your boy
agree.
won one
I
ring.
agree.
Huh?
But it's a lot of people out there saying that Rose wouldn't have got hurt. He would have caught one.
Who?
You know what I'm saying?
Who you say?
If a
If who
guy
he get-
from Chicago named Derrick Rose wouldn't have got hurt, he would have caught one. He would have caught a championship.
Get hurt. What happened?
Come on, man. Come on, man. Don't do
This
that,
dude.
man. Don't do that, man. Don't do that. Don't do that, man.
This dude
Don't
right
do
here.
that, man.
What Chicago
You
Bulls
see
team?
how you do? You real disrespectful right now, man. With your whack New York Knicks colors on right now, man.
What?
Yo, man. Yo.
Hey,
Now-
hold up. Okay, now you on
Never-
something.
hey,
You
the
said-
people
you
would
said
never
there's
would've
a-
known you was a
there-
Knicks
there's
fan.
There's a lot of people that believe if he wouldn't have got hurt,
They would have won
He
one.
would've caught
At least one.
he would have caught one.
One.
He would have caught one.
You believe that?
Yes.
You're at a gospel station. You said,
Yeah.
you
Yes.
saying, so you
If he
saying
never got that first,
never would've got
if he
hurt,
never got it against
would've
Philly,
caught- he
if he
would've
never
caught
would have
one.
got injured, they would have won one.
They would have won.
I'm for sure they would have won one. For sure would have won one.
LeBron James owned the Chicago Bulls, man.
Nah, bruh.
He owned them.
Nah, bruh.
He owned them when he came
You know
back.
what?
He owned them. Even when y'all was the number one seed 2 years ago. Even when the Chicago Bulls was the number one seed.
Yeah. Every team got to get over that hump, and they was making their way towards that way. And once he towards ACL, that was it.
What? And he never from the year before that they was about to get past the Miami Heat.
Bro, he never recovered. He never recovered. He never was the same after that ACL.
I agree.
And you know how great he was before the ACL. Okay, absolutely. And so if he never would have got that ACL injury, I believe the Chicago Bulls would have got
the MVP
one.
year. The MVP year, he was healthy.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
So the
MVP year, he was
healthy. Watch this.
How many times?
The MVP year, yeah, he was healthy.
Right.
Now, go with Derrick Rose supporting cast to LeBron supporting cast.
The statement was if Derrick Rose didn't get healthy, didn't tear his ACL,
he would have called one.
Was that the same team, the MVP year?
What?
With Boozer, Noah, Dang. Was Kurt Heinrich there? I mean, was he?
No, we had a starting shooting guard of Keith Bogan.
Yeah,
but you remember teams always have to go through that cycle of LeBron went through it too before he got over that hump and made it to the finals. Before they beat Boston,
right?
And they beat Detroit. They had to get over that hump. Chicago was working their way to getting over that hump, but he ended up getting injured, never got a chance to get over that hump.
I hear that as a fan, but what showed you from the two times that they played them when they were the number one seed, and what showed you?
How many times did the Bulls play? How many times did the Bulls play Detroit Pistons before they got over the hump?
So they played them twice.
And then what? The third time they got over?
They lost to them twice.
I believe that, and the fact is, Atlanta didn't do the stupid move at that time, and Max Johnson.
Anyway, man, I don't want to get too. I don't want to say too much. But we talking about. I cannot believe they sat here and said that it was something that y'all see in the Derrick Rose Chicago Bulls team that was going to allow them to get past the Miami Heat.
You really going to disrespect?
There's nothing that I seen.
That's fine. Okay. That's fine. Of course you can say that now. Of course, that's fine.
There's nothing that I seen.
We do have to move on to some more topics. I know you got a lot of paperwork over there, and maybe we can get back to it.
So one more thing about Robert Parrish. So, and also what Robert Parrish said, not only did he not beat the Boston Celtics, Michael Jordan didn't beat the Boston Celtics, or he didn't beat the Pistons until they got old. The teams that he finally did beat for his 6 championships after his 7th year in the league were not
come on,
no all-time great teams.
Okay.
I got a list.
Yeah, come on.
So go ahead. I'm gonna let you go.
Cause you about to say that, well, this team only had one Hall of Famer, or this team had one Hall of Famer. But at the time, and somebody mentioned this on your post, who were all-stars on that team? Do you have those? Do you have those numbers? Do you have those names of people that was all-stars on that team?
Because I think that teams. I'll say this in fairness to the league. Most times, if you have 2 teams in a finals or even a semifinal, key conference finals, you're going to have multiple all-stars on there.
Okay.
So then that's fine. But what I'm saying is, when I compare it to Magic Johnson, Magic Johnson went against not just all-stars. He went up against all-time greats.
Okay.
From the 76ers, they had 3 top 50 players on that team. The Boston Celtics had 3 top 50 players on that team. Then you're talking about arguably the second or third best point guard of all times, Isaiah Thomas. So, and don't get me started. Michael Jordan played, he was great. Michael Jordan was great, again, from 1989, 90 to 1998. Okay. Now, I'm not going to even try to include, the 2 years he retired.
Okay. That's 2 more years they would have won the championship.
And then we're not going to include those Washington Wizards years. I won't even disrespect him like that because I think he's a Mount Rushmore. So if you want to put the body of work.
Actually, people disrespect that, but his Washington Wizards year, his last year, is a max contract for somebody today.
And you know what they had to do for him? You know what they had to do for him? Vince Carter said, so let me tell you this. So you know what happened that year when he was an All-Star game? Do you know what happened?
Oh, they let him start. They let him
he said, you know what, Mike? We know you don't deserve to start, but we're going to allow you to start. Because
how many people they do that?
So again, I said I'm not going to bring up the Washington Wizards years. You want to bring up the Washington Wizards years.
Well, all I'm saying is his numbers that he put up that year is a max contract today for a small forward.
And let me say this. LeBron lost to Dallas, who had, one Hall of Famer?
One.
You got Jason Kidd and you got Dirk Nowitzki.
Okay, two. But scoring, Dirk was the man scoring. Jason Kidd was a facilitator.
Right.
He's a Hall of Famer. Right. But they had two Hall of Famers.
And with Ray Allen, I'll give Ray Allen, even though he was
3 Hall of Famers
in his career. But
Ray Allen won y'all a championship when he was at the end of his career too. Let's throw that out.
Yeah, well, hit the shot.
But your main point,
what Robert Sherritt said. He said, okay, when he beat Phoenix, they only had one Hall of Famer. That was Barkley. Parrish said, when he beat Seattle, they only had one Hall of Famer, which was Peyton.
Pause.
Do not mention Sean Kemp. Okay.
Hold on. Do not mention Sean Kemp. If he didn't get fat and no drugs, he wasn't gonna be a Hall of Famer.
No, he wasn't.
Oh, come on, man. Come on, bro.
Sean Kemp was a Hall of Famer?
Bro. Sean Kemp wasn't the rain man?
Let himself go. Sean Kemp would have been a Hall of Famer.
Come on, man.
You looking at an era when you start comparing Sean Kemp to all-time greats. Don't do that, bro. Sean Kemp was good. He was very good in his time. He was very good for Seattle. But again, even once retired, he wasn't a Hall of Famer.
Of course,
Mitch wasn't a Hall of Famer. So again, back
okay, go back to this, man.
They only had one Hall of Famer, Peyton. Okay. When he beat Portland, they had one Hall of Famer, Clyde Drexler.
Mm-hmm.
And he played with 3 Hall of Famers, Scotty, Dennis, and himself.
Mm-hmm. Pause. Okay. Why didn't he mention the first 3 championships when he played with Scotty and Horace, Horace is not a Hall of Famer? Why didn't he mention those 3? He just so happened to mention the ones with Dennis Rodman, which is a Hall of Famer. Why did he do that?
Right.
Seems a little suspect.
Why it seems suspect?
Because why would he only mention the last 3 instead of the first 3?
Well, he didn't. I'm just quoting what he said. But I'll give him credit for that, though.
Hey,
even when he beat him,
this whole article is seeming a little bit suspect to me.
Where's the non-truth at?
He left out some stuff, though.
We know he beat Portland without Rodman. He beat the Lakers without Rodman. I know who he beat without Rodman.
I'm saying, but if Robert Parrish is going to put out an article, put out the whole story. Okay. That's my point.
Right. So the only part that you have a question is that at the very end he mentioned he played with Rodman, but instead he didn't break it down from the first 3 he didn't play with Rodman, and then the last 3 he did. That's the only part of this that might be y'all call suspect.
And the fact that he didn't say it was other All-Stars on that team, he just said Hall of Famers.
If we want to base great on All-Stars, or we trying to base on all-time great?
All-Star means something.
Top 50. I'm talking about top 50 players. It's a big difference.
All-Star is you a key part of that team.
Okay.
You ain't no bum.
We talking about top 50 players.
Okay, who are you comparing it to though? Okay, if you want to analyze Jordan's career on that, then who are we comparing it to?
Magic.
But he didn't even mention Magic. He just said Russell. And
I got another article from George Gervin that played for the Chicago Bulls for a little bit. You want to hear about? Oh yeah.
Okay, wait, hold on. Before you read this article, right, did you bring out other articles that people did say Jordan was the GOAT? You didn't bring that though, did you? You just brought it.
No, listen, he's on my Mount Rushmore. But listen, what I'm saying.
Actually, no.
Listen, hear me out.
Okay.
Michael Jordan is on my Mount Rushmore.
I got you.
He's just not the greatest of all times.
In your opinion.
Be clear. In my opinion.
All right, got you.
You know what I'm saying? Based on the body of work. Not just, you don't become the greatest of all times at the age of 28, 29 years old.
But let me
start with so let me understand. So when I say Magic, this is why I went to Magic. Magic in high school was the #1 player his junior and senior year coming out of high school. Magic, his first year at Michigan State, he was the starting freshman point guard. He took him to the Elite Eight. They lost to Kentucky, who was later that year winning the national championship. Second year he came back, he won a national championship and was consensus #1 player in the country.
So you doing
you're
doing high school and college.
When you talk about all-time greats, I look at athletes like Floyd Mayweather. I look at Tiger Woods. Those that have come out the womb.
But Parrish didn't even mention that.
I just brought that for reference. But this is what I'm trying to say.
If I'm not mistaken, didn't Magic come into the league with a great team?
No, he didn't. They didn't make the playoffs the year before.
The year before?
No, the Lakers did not make the year playoffs the year before.
But the year that he came into the league, who was his starting 5?
It was.
When he came into the league.
I don't know. They wouldn't make the playoffs. So you said he'd come into a great team. The year before Magic got to the Lakers, they wasn't even in the playoffs.
My thing is, you bringing up.
They went out and got Kareem.
You're bringing up. You saying to be the greatest of all time. You know, high school and college plays a part. I'm okay with that. Right. But what I'm saying is, with the Parrish article is not bringing up those things.
But Parrish said Michael Jordan was the greatest of his era.
Right.
So he's not saying Michael Jordan is not great. He's just saying from this window, Michael Jordan was the greatest.
Right.
But from this window, I disagree. Because you know why I disagree? Because we used to kick all the time. That's why he said
what about the other players who played against him as well? Other greats who said he was the greatest. What about those?
I don't know. I don't know.
Barkley said Jordan was the greatest.
Right.
He
well,
played.
You know why? I mean, if you know, we
Is he the only one though?
Is it? Yeah, we on the guy, so I can't really tell you why Charles Barkley said Michael Jordan's the
We
greatest.
got a phone call. Let's take our phone. Let's take our first phone call.
I can't say this yet. They'll ban me from the show if I tell you why Charles Barkley says Michael Jordan's the greatest.
He ain't the only one. Thanks for calling the Allen Powell Show. What's your name? Where you from? And what's your comment?
Hey, this is Kari McClellan. I just called to hear my boy Joe and James Oliver go at it.
What's up, Kari?
What up?
You listening?
What's going on? How y'all doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. What you got for us, man?
Oh man, I just wanted to, just listening to that situation about Robert Parish.
What's your thoughts on that article?
About his,
Now, mind you, before he starts, he's a Chicago Bulls fan.
I just want to know his
I got a
thoughts.
question. Hold on. I got a question though.
Okay.
Didn't Robert Parish? I mean, I might be wrong. Didn't he join the Bulls though?
He did.
Yeah, he
And he
did.
got a championship before he
Did he
retired?
play on the Bulls?
Yeah, he did.
Yes, he did.
I'm just making sure. I mean, that's kind of a bias.
He bandwagoned the championship on the way to making his article. He got him a ring. You right.
Just making sure.
You right.
Remember,
Hey, when you coming on the show, man, we so you can be here, man.
Man, I remember my son's back. He the basketball, man. When he get done, he got like 3 more weeks.
Well, I'm glad, man. I see your son doing big things, man. I'm glad he get the athleticism from his mom. I'm glad to see that.
And I'm
man,
glad
hey.
you're raising him right as a Bulls fan.
Hey, man, don't be talking to our callers like that,
Hey, man, I see your son doing his thing, man. I want to thank his mom for the athleticism. Thank you.
So disrespectful to the callers, man.
You might be one of the ones talking about in the near future. But we'll see.
Hey, but thanks for calling in, bro, man. I appreciate it.
No problem, man.
All right, bro.
Man. All right.
So look, you got
That's a customer. I'm on the zone.
You
I'm
got-
in the zone right now.
a lot of info, but we have to move on,
Okay,
man.
go ahead.
Before we move on, do you have a party that needs a DJ? DJ Boucher
Big Boucher.
is the DJ that you want to go to. He specializes in house music, stepping, reggae, hip hop, R&B, and gospel. So if you need a DJ, you can dial him up at 773-824-8368 or DJ Boucher. That is spelled BOUCHEE.com, and you can book him for your event, or you can look him up at DJ Boucher732@gmail.com.
Brother, man. Boucher is a good brother, man.
He DJ'd a picnic recently that I was at, and dude, that was my first time hearing him DJ, and he
Oh, yeah.
he had the house music going, and he almost made me start footworking again, and I retired.
He did. I'm glad he
Hey,
did.
I was the man. I was the man. You better ask about me, brother. I was the man. I was the man around these parts. You know what I'm saying? I was the man around these parts. But look, he had the party rocking, man. So if you need a DJ, that's the DJ you need to go to. Check him out, DJ Boucher. He does everything. So, all right, moving on. Russell, after our last show, it was a big trade. The trades kept coming. Another trade in the Western Conference. Russell Westbrook traded to the Houston Rockets for Chris Paul and a whole bunch of draft picks. So, James Oliver, I'm coming to you first. Will this trade work for the Rockets?
Yes, I love it. I
You
love
love
it
it?
for the Rockets. I felt like Chris Paul was too inconsistent with the Rockets. You know what I'm saying? One night he'll give you 10. Next night he might give you 15. And then I think in the last game he scored like 27 points. We need a consistent 27 points. And I'm going to make my prediction, my bold prediction right now. If Eric Gordon plays next year in the playoffs like he did last year, I got Houston coming out.
You got Houston coming out.
If Eric
Out of
Gordon,
where?
Eric Gordon is my Eric Gordon is my X factor. If Eric Gordon play the same way he did last year, I got Houston
Coming out the West? Coming out the West?
Texas
Coming
over
out the
Dallas.
West. Coming out beating your
Got
Lakers.
Houston coming out
Beating
out
your
of
Lakers.
Texas.
Hey,
Texas.
Beating
if the
your
Lakers
Lakers.
if the Lakers don't lose to the Clippers first, but look, hey,
Y'all taking shots.
wait.
Y'all taking shots.
you said this will work. What about the fact that he's a ball dominant player? James Harden is a ball dominant player. At least Chris Paul was a facilitator of the Rock.
It's not about it. They older, they mature now. You know what I'm saying? Everybody say that's a myth to me. Ball dominant, ball dominant, ball dominant. They said LeBron and Dwayne Wade was too ball dominant, and it didn't work, and they won 2 rings. So it depends on if either one of them, you know what I'm saying, to set their ego aside for a little bit and to let it work.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I think they are passionate enough. You know Russell Westbrook will leave it out on the court, so I don't see why not.
I'm gonna give it to you, Sportsologist. Analyze this trade, man.
I agree. I think that, I give Westbrook a hard time, man, 'cause I feel like Westbrook was the one that ran Kevin Durant out of town because of his ball dominance. But I feel like it's definitely an upgrade. And I was telling somebody on the text message, the game is past Chris Paul by. That, if you can't shoot from 26, 25 feet out as a point guard, he doesn't, his handles is good enough. He really don't jump that high. He's not that crafted like a Kyrie Irving. He don't handle the ball like that, and he doesn't shoot that great.
Right.
So unfortunately, today's NBA with your Damian Lillards of the world, your Kyrie Irvings, and obviously Steph Curry's, and now if you want to put Kimbo in there, like that general point guard, getting everybody involved is so I think the game is past Chris Paul by. So it's definitely an upgrade for the Rockets. I'm not gonna go as far as to say I feel like they can challenge, with Tucker and Eric Gordon, they can challenge. But we know who coming out the West, man. Purple and gold.
The blue and red. the Clippers. Hey, but I say my pause about this trade is it's an upgrade because I think that, like you say, Paul is smaller, like 6 foot. Russell Westbrook 6'3", 6'4", physical. But one thing about Russell Westbrook, man, to me, where Chris Paul has him dominated is IQ. IQ, knowing when to shoot, where to shoot. Russell Westbrook takes some bad shots.
But those
and like
bad,
you say,
those bad shots, I think him and Harden will be able to coexist where they'll be like, you know what I'm saying? He now Russell Westbrook is a willing passer though.
Okay, but let me tell you this.
Let's get that straight.
But you say you think they'll be able to figure it out and all this. Remember what offense they in. This is the D'Antoni run and gun, do what you want to do. Oh, they don't run plays.
He does scare me as a coach.
Right.
And I think that's the question. I think somebody else mentioned that. I think that when you don't pass up on a Russell Westbrook type of talent. It's even though I'm not he wouldn't run my team.
Right.
It's only a handful of players in the league that you would take over him. I think.
Right.
So
right.
It's definitely an upgrade. But Dan Antonio has been suspect.
Bruh.
They call him he's an offensive guru. I don't know, but he ain't won with it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
it just look good.
I think his system. I think a lot of teams run that same system. You know what I'm saying?
I don't like the ISO.
They just had different
my
players.
thing is,
and when you say this team hasn't won with it, I think that Phoenix team would have won if they wouldn't have suspended Stoudemire.
That was the 1 year he had. But we got another caller calling in. Let's take this call and see what the caller got to say. Is the call on? Thanks for calling the Allen Powell Show. What's your name? Where you from? What's your comment? Call you on the line? Are they gone? Okay. Well, call back if you want to get back in. But like you said, that 1 year when in Phoenix, that was their best chance to win. That was the best offense out, the best D'Antoni that I seen.
Yeah.
But in this Houston, it's shoot the three whenever you want to. Gerald Green pulling all over the place. We got the call on the line now. Let's see if the call is back. Calling you on the line?
Yeah, I'm here.
Thanks for calling the Allen Powell Show. What's your name? Where you from? What's your comment?
This is Mr. Tell the Truth from the sunny skies of Arsenal.
Hey, man, where you at, man? Why you not in here with us?
I'm at work.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's right.
Usually if he's at work, the story is he's in the bathroom. But what you got, brother?
Yeah, I am sneak to the bathroom, make a call, and get my comments. So I ain't gonna be long. I want to talk about the Chris Paul and them getting Russell Westbrook. First point I want to make: I don't think the game passed Chris Paul by. I think his point of he should have ran the ball more in the playoffs because that style that James Harden has, that one-on-one basketball, that works in the regular season. It's pretty, but it's not winning basketball. But I do agree that Russell Westbrook is an upgrade because D'Antoni's not going to change his system. But I think it's going to work in the regular season, and in the playoffs, they still going to get put out second, third.
Thank you. Okay. All right.
I agree with you.
We got somebody. We got somebody sitting in your seat. He said that if Eric Gordon plays to how he played in the playoffs last year, They're coming out of the West.
There's no way at all.
Thank you.
Hey, who's coming out the West?
Right now, I'm not gonna. I hate to say it. I think it's gonna be the Lakers.
All right, hey, we gotta go, man. All right, we gotta go. All right, thanks for calling in, man. Thanks for calling in. Give a brother a chance to give a brother a chance to answer correctly.
He sees the roster, man.
That's Mr. Tell the Truth, telling lies again. That's what he normally do, man. That's what he do. But I think that it's gonna be real interesting to watch, to see what's going on, and then we're gonna see. We got another caller calling in. Let's see what the caller got to say.
Calling back.
Thanks for calling the Allen Powell Show. What's your name? Where you from? What's your comment? Talk up.
Hi, Al. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I love the show. I'm fine.
What's your comment?
My comment is the young man with the light hair on top that's bashing Chicago. Tell him I love the questions and everything, but he can't be part of the Allen Powell Show bashing Chicago.
Boom. Boom. Enough said.
Boom. Lock and loaded.
Let's get him out of here.
Yeah, I agree. I appreciate that call a lot.
That's Mr. Sportsologist to her.
Thank you.
Thanks for calling in.
I don't know. They ain't say their name. I don't know. Sounded like my sister, but I couldn't tell. All right, moving on. NFLPA.
How am I bashing Chicago, though?
Look, man.
Because I'm not a Michael. Because I say Michael
You
Jordan.
heard what the caller said, man. You bash Chicago.
I'm saying
because you ain't respect. You ain't putting no respect on that name. That's what it is. You ain't putting respect.
MJ on
Look,
my
man.
Mount Rushmore.
That's not good enough around here.
Hey, hold on. Let me ask you one thing, because you talk about the head side of the coin. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to LeBron, this, that, and the other. Now, let's talk. What's the tail side to that? What if he don't win? What if he don't win this year with Anthony Davis and Kuzma and Avery
LeBron
Bradley?
doesn't win another championship.
No, what if he don't win this year?
I like where it's going. Answer both.
Where would he be then? If he don't win with this thing, where would he be?
In my opinion, you asking my opinion as far as all-time greats. Is that what you're asking me?
I mean, you got
He's still on my. LeBron James is still one of the top 4 best players to ever lace up a pair of shoes to me.
So basically,
I'm just
basically, if he
honestly,
wins, he can only go up.
Right. So
but
listen,
if he lose, he stay the same.
Right, so how do you go down? If you're all-time great, you're all-time great. It's like, do we penalize? I mean, so what my point is, and in all honesty, at this point, there's no way I would put LeBron James, and I just do that because y'all so Michael Jordan heavy over here. I just like to jab at y'all.
Yeah, so it ain't legit. You
So
just doing it because of personal reasons.
My Mount Rushmore in this order, it would be Magic, Jordan, probably Kareem, and then LeBron. But even if he doesn't win, LeBron James is still one of my top 4 players of all time.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But because y'all said so you can't see nothing but Michael Jordan, I'm like, hold up, man. It's more basketball out here that's been played before Michael Jordan. And by the way, the ones that y'all overlooking used to kick him right square in the booty. You know what I mean? So that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying I don't like Michael Jordan.
I guess I would say this. I didn't hear the criticisms when Jordan was, even when he was losing. I didn't hear the criticism of not being aggressive enough.
Social media. Social media.
Oh, that's possible. And that's possible. But even from you didn't say,
I can tell you LeBron's faults. The problem I had with LeBron. So I'm a realist.
I already told you.
I want to know from him.
The problem I have with LeBron is this. It's not even about y'all. We talked before about making the right basketball play where you guys feel like he needs to take the shot. See, playing basketball, we all play, but playing on certain levels, you make the right basketball play. They pros too. You know what I'm saying? Do I take a contested 26-footer or do I pass to a pro, even though he ain't LeBron James, that's supposed to shoot a 12-footer? I made the right play. But my problem with LeBron, and that's my problem, I think that was easy for Golden State to defend him, was he dominates the ball. Like, I watched how Kawhi played. I was telling somebody at work today. Like, Kawhi lets his other teammates get involved, the role players, and then all of a sudden for a stretch of 4 or 5 minutes, he'll go for 12 straight. LeBron needs to do that because he still can go and dominate. But soon as they go down by 6 points, now it's a panic. Now give me the ball.
Yeah.
And now, you know what I'm saying? But you got to get them other players involved where Kevin Love won't be ice cold from the 3-point line, or J.R. Smith won't rebound it and dribble all the way out and call a timeout that we ain't had. You know why? Because he wasn't engaged in the game.
And
You know what I'm saying? So that's my biggest problem with LeBron. Not his talent, not him making the right basketball play, but he panics and wants to do it all himself.
Pause, everybody. We have made some progress on the show. We got sportsologists to finally come out and say the faults of LeBron. I don't think I've ever heard.
like a historical moment now,
I don't think I've never heard this.
Sportsologist, man.
He never.
I come
He
with the
never.
facts. I come
But
with the
he's
facts, bro.
never admitted in my face LeBron's faults.
We never talked about it. Not that I was.
Why is that? Why is that?
Because you just a LeBron hater, bro.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah, LeBron. I say, why you? When I ask somebody this, I'm like, why you don't like LeBron?
But I told you. I said.
He said because the media. This is why he hates LeBron. Not because LeBron is a non-Christian or not because LeBron has done anything wrong. He hates LeBron because the media has anointed him the chosen one.
And then
LeBron ain't had nothing to do with that.
he had a little bit. Cause he started feeling himself like,
Nike
you know
gave,
what?
Nike gave him a $100 million
You know what?
contract. You know what? I am the chosen one.
Then I'm about to start making TV shows telling you, you know what, I am the GOAT.
The King James version, they come dancing down the church aisle. He ain't like
Off the
that.
chain, man. Off the chain. You want to get
Church,
chosen?
though, I thought you would love it. It was in church.
Get chosen one, man. Get out of here. All right, man. We gotta move on, man. The NFL trying to get these 18 games, man. 18 games. Cut the preseason down to 2 games. Is this going to pass eventually?
I think it will pass.
I think it will.
Oh wait, we got to throw enough money at him or something?
Well, it's about money because if you notice, after the first 2 preseason games, your pros don't even your starters don't even play. They start playing a little bit, and then in the 4th game, you know, just to kind of get your your game speed together. So it's an audition for like it's 2 games of an audition to fill like 10 spots because pretty much your 43 people is already kind of under contract.
Right.
So you got 2 preseason games to try to fill your 3rd linebacker or your 3rd tight end that's going to be on the practice squad later. You know what I'm saying? So it's a waste, man. And, you know, I think that they're going to cut it down.
And so they saying that it's going to be an 18 game.
The players don't like it.
Right. They say it's going to be an 18 game schedule, but the players is only going to be mandatory to play 16 games. So it's still going to be 2 games that they not going to be required to play, even in the 18 games.
What if you're in the playoff hunt?
That's what I'm saying. How they going to do this? Or the first 2 games or load management?
Who makes the decision if, okay, we're in the playoff hunt, we tied to go to the playoffs, or I played my 16 games already, I ain't playing these last 2.
I think injuries is going to play a lot, and then they're going to have to risk reward. You know, where we at in the standings? Can we sit our quarterback this game? It's kind of crazy. But James Oliver, what's your thoughts on this 18-game schedule, man?
I like it. I like it better.
I know as a fan we like it, but
I mean,
I forgot we got Chicago Bulls.
I know the players are not a fan of it. The players ain't a fan of it, but you know what? It's 50-50 for me. The players, it's not good for the players because you know what I'm saying. You are putting more toll on their body, this, that, and the other. But of course, as a fan, I like it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That gives us 2 more games where we could beat Green
why were you
Bay
on football?
and the Giants and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
See, why we on football?
I mean,
that
gives us more games where we can throw them other teams in. You know?
How does it feel for you 2 Chicago Bears fans to be even talked about in a possible run to the Super Bowl?
Money making Mitch about to blow up.
It's been 30 years, but I mean, I guess you
know what? And Al, I gotta apologize to you. Over the years, I've never invited you to lunch for the lunch money that Joe has donated to the.
Bro, do you really want to go there?
You know what I'm saying? But this year, you will get the invitation.
Yeah.
And that's some lunch that I gladly take.
James,
because Joe will be providing lunch for all of us.
Okay, James.
So you will be invited.
Can we be honest? Can we be honest? We on the gospel station. Can we be honest?
We are on the gospel station.
Okay.
We are.
So who has been buying lunch?
Last bet.
Yeah. For the last couple of years we've been betting, who's bought more lunches? Me or you?
The last win?
Over the last total, all the bets.
All our bets?
Yeah. Who's bought more lunches?
I mean, you probably started off, but I'm catching up.
Yeah.
I'm catching up.
Okay. Well,
Catching up.
we do. I think as we play in the cold too, man. The Giants do come here.
Hey, but you talking about my team, bruh. What's up with y'all quarterback situation?
Y'all got problems.
You got problems?
Y'all shouldn't have.
Okay, though.
Y'all should have let go of Eli. Y'all got problems.
Well, I mean, I don't like the draft pick. I don't like the draft pick, but that's a whole nother topic for another conversation.
So how do you feel that y'all probably gonna stink again this year?
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to watch.
Yeah.
It's gonna be very difficult to watch. You know, they think we're gonna contend, and we pros. You know, I think it's time to move on from Eli. We got Barkley, young running back. You know, if they think this quarterback is the guy, I can't remember his name. You know what I'm saying?
He from Duke, ain't he?
He's from Duke, but I'm Duke basketball. I'm Notre Dame football. But my problem, you know, it's I gotta see, man. I'm a Giants fan, and it's gonna be hard to watch, but I just gotta see though.
Got you. Going back to this NFL 18-game schedule, my issue is the NFL is so full of garbage, man. Y'all come out all this, we care about your safety. Helmet to helmet. We don't want you to get injured. We want you to play 2 more games though. Right. Can you do that for us?
Yeah.
We all about safety, but can you 2 more games?
So we can make a little bit more money.
We want to tax you a little bit.
That's a question. That's still got to be negotiated. I'm assuming that's not.
Yeah, it's still getting negotiated.
Player Association, they ain't going.
But you see how quickly stuff just go out the window. We can make how much money? They talking about they can make like billions off just 2 more games.
Because mind you, if you look at preseason 1, when they be playing them on like Tuesday afternoons at Soldier Field when the sun is out, you might get 10,000 people. But if that's a week 1 game,
right?
Now you gotta, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, you look at the amount of people that come to a preseason game based on, and then actually week 1 or week 18 games meaningful. Yeah, you talking about money all over the place.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Another story I want to get to, man. Melvin Gordon, Chargers running back, says if he don't get a new contract, he's going to hold out. Just to give the listeners a little background, he got 1 year left for like $5.6 million. But in NFL, they like to get their contracts done before the contract is up. And the last year of their contract, they like to get renewed. And in football cases, if you get injured, they can just cut you. Even though you're still on a contract, they can cut you. So it's like they can cut you, but if you outplay your contract, they want to get renewed before the last year of the contract. And he's saying he's going to hold out if he don't get the new contract, even though he's going to make $5.6 million this year if he plays. He says, I'm not playing for that. I want a new contract. If you're the GM, do you give him the contract right now?
As a GM, I can't do it. Either I can't do it right now. I hate to say that. Yeah. It's a business move for me, but if I was the player, I would definitely do it. Because, if you get injured, like you said, it's gone. It's gone. And what do they do to running backs after 30? They cut you, and you out of there. They use you up, and you out of there. In football, I'm always pro player. You got to get your money now.
Right.
Because when you through, it's over with.
Right. But to play devil's advocate, they say, we drafted you. You want to take care of your own. So the quote unquote right thing to do is to take care of your player. He performed for you. Take care of the player.
Right.
So, Sportsologist, thoughts?
I agree. I don't have a problem with him holding out. But again, you ask if you're in the GM seat. We know the life expectancy of a running back.
Right.
You're talking about 4 or 5 good years.
5 years.
You know what I'm saying? And Gordon, he's been taking some lickers. He's had some injury. If y'all, I'm sure y'all remember, he's had some injury problems. So do I go ahead and give him 3 years, $35 million or 20-something million guaranteed? It's unfortunate that NFL, it ain't like the baseball or the basketball money. You know what I'm saying? So now, and your life and your career terms are a lot shorter. So again, GM-wise, I don't know. I might franchise him later on, next season. But at some point, he's going to have to report. If they don't come to a kind of negotiation, he got to report. So you can hold out hoping to get a contract, but you're still in the contract at some point. So, you have to.
The running backs is like losing their leverage because
we got
history has shown that.
Yeah. Let's take this last call before we get ready to get up out of here. Thanks for calling the Allen Powell Show. What's your name? Where you from? What's your comment?
You know who I am, the Cinco, baby.
Yo, what's
Cinco.
up? Hey, where you at, man?
I'm just in the hospital, man. My mother-in-law was in the hospital.
Oh, okay. I hope she's getting better, man. We holding it down up here without you.
Oh yeah, I appreciate it. Hey, but I'm just calling to tell my man, the sportsologist, in advance, congratulations for the 2020 NBA champions lost.
Thank you.
we gotta
Hey,
go,
thank you.
man.
Hey, hold
Hey,
on.
hey,
go.
hey,
Go, man. I thank you,
Hey,
man.
can we
Matter of
skip-
fact,
Hey,
Screen
the sound lady just held up. We only got a little bit of time, so we gotta go.
Hey.
Tom,
So-
don't hang up on that. That's how I got.
You the only one that's gonna understand that, man.
Hey, man.
You got to
Yeah,
start
thank
screening
you.
calls on
You
this
got
shit.
that
Los
right.
Angeles Lakers,
You got to start doing
All
that.
right.
2020 NBA Finals champ. That's LeBron's fourth championship.
We definitely got to start screening these calls, ask who's calling in, and what they got to say before they.
He's part of the show.
Yeah,
He part of the
okay.
show.
Yeah, he's a part of the show. All right, thank you, brother.
Hey, man. He gone.
Good. These last two calls been bad, man. Last calls
They
been
both,
bad.
they both
man.
part of our show.
Bad. I'm shocked about
Been
that.
six, huh?
He was a shocker. Tell the truth. With his comment. Anyway,
Yeah, you just a hater,
hey,
man.
if I'm the GM, bro, bro, you're gonna play this contract. If I'm
Right.
GM, bro, you under contract.
But normally they do. Normally, when you get into like that last year, they do normally negotiate a new contract.
Yeah.
But like you with the career expectancy of running backs,
Yeah.
just like what's his name went to the Jet. What's his name? They should play for the
Le'Veon Bell.
Le'Veon Bell. Like he kept, you know what I'm saying? He watched
No, go. You good? You good?
So with that, you know what I'm saying? The running back, they're in a bad situation, man, because
Yeah.
they take a pounding. If you're a quarterback or a receiver, that's something different, man. But
But this is my thing. Like, this not even a franchise situation. You're not about to threaten me talking about, well, I'll sit out. Well, sit out then. Sit out, and then we're going to find you. Because in his situation, we can find you.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to talk that big stuff? You about to get $5.6 million.
it's just in a bad. It's just
Hey,
you know,
bro.
bad- and it's not even your agent. It's just your running back.
And then you want to go out in the public and say it? Like, chill out. You chill out.
That should be done behind closed. Because
Right.
once you like, you know, we all got egos. So once you put me like, I ain't showing up. I'm like, all right. All right.
Crazy.
Send me that cheese too.
Yeah,
Every
yeah.
day you miss camp.
Yeah. Before we get up out of here, real quick, tennis. We have some tennis news. Novak Djokovic, the Joker beat Federer.
Yeah.
The brother, his major's getting up there. He's
I know
man.
he getting close to Federer too, man. He
Yeah,
getting real-
yeah.
This might be the best era in men's tennis, man. I don't know if you know what I'm saying.
And Nadal,
Nadal, yeah.
and
Oh,
Federer,
yeah.
them
Oh,
three,
yeah.
they've been
Oh, yeah.
dominating for a long time.
Yeah.
And Serena Williams lost in the finals to Halep. She whipped on Serena and she beat Coco.
Yeah,
so
I
she
know.
took out two of
my- 2 of my day. I was rooting. I was home from
Yeah.
work. I was there like, man. I started following her on Instagram. I'm like,
Yeah.
man, she's 15. I said, am I too old to be following her on Instagram?
No.
I was just excited about her playing.
Me
like,
too.
you know, I seen her father in the crowd and cheering, man.
Yeah.
She just ran into some really good competition though.
Yeah. But we about to get up out of here. Look, hey, come to church real quick. We got a few seconds. Look, Joshua 1:7, meditate on the word day and night, then you will be successful. You'll be surprised how much if you just meditate on the word day and night, the word says then you will be successful in everything that you do. So check out that scripture. We getting up out of here. Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll see y'all next week. This is the Allen Powell Show. Sportsologist James Officer. We are gone.
Where we lock and load, Allen Powell. It's the Allen Powell Show. Yeah. Where we lock and load. Come on. It's the Allen Powell Show. Yeah. Where we lock and load. Come on. It's the Allen Powell Show. Yeah. Where we lock and load. It's the Allen Powell Show. Yeah. Where we